Come down to the par 4 12th, excuse me, playing probably almost directly behind the breeze today, maybe a little bit of left to right, and the wind has definitely turned to a slightly more northerly quarter today than has been the case in the first couple of rounds, and Danny Lee narrowly avoiding the left-hand fairway traps. Actually, it leaves them a perfect angle to this front right flag. Flag today cut down very much in the front of the green. In fact, he couldn't have chosen a better angle, really. And he's certainly taken full advantage of it. We'll have a look at the par 4 12th here, playing mainly down breeze today. You can see these fairway traps creating a narrow landing area for the tee shots, and especially with the flag cut in on the front right today, they'll be standing on the tee thinking they want to favour the left-hand side to give themselves access to the flag, as we saw with Danny Lee just a few moments ago. Some players will take driver and try and rip it through the gap. Others will take a more conservative approach with a 3-wood from the tee just to set up, maybe even an iron from the tee just to set up the angle and avoid the fairway traps. This green measuring over 50 paces, right up in the back of the green yesterday, but today, as I said, right down in the front.
Garrido, that's nicely down the 12th fairway.
We saw Philippe Aguilar's second to the 15th. This putt for birdie to get him within 2 of the lead.
Yes, he's defending the championship that he won last year. And as I said, he enjoyed the heat of battle when he ran Finch all the way to the wire in Ireland in completely different conditions to Indonesia. It was hot there, pretty cold and wet in Ireland. But you could see him grow in stature when he had the chance of making a lot of birdies down the final 9 at Adair Manor.
Danny Lee had a share of the lead 10 or 15 minutes or so ago. He's been passed by Ross McGowan and John Bickerton, but here he is with an opportunity to rejoin them at 13 under. A couple of influences in this putt. You would think it might go a little bit left to right, but there is a shoulder from the front that comes down from the front of the green also, so I would imagine it's pretty straight.
He read the left to right in it, didn't he? Heavily biting his lip. But you see, this is not the way you would expect an 18-year-old to behave. He's taken that on the chin. He's trying to count to 10 and not be too affected by it. And he's tucked in nicely at 12 under, Danny Lee, despite missing that opportunity. Just 1 behind. McGowan and Bickerton to confirm them at the top of the leaderboard following their last birdies.
Lee Westwood's crept his way back into the tournament. He dropped back to 3 under at one stage yesterday, but after that quadruple bogey 9 at the par 5 third.
And a double bogey today. I mean, he's tried to help the opposition. Double bogey on Westwood's card for that 68.
Tony Carolan continuing his love affair with the Vines. He's played well here previously. He enjoys it here. Robert Jan Dirksen, the first round leader, still in with some sort of a chance. He's got a few holes left today. If he can finish off strongly, well, he'll bring himself back into contention. And Andrew Dote from Queensland doing very nicely at 9 under. Only a year or so into his professional career, had a very good first season in Asia last year. And Andre Stoltz there at 9 under also, still very much in the thick of things.
I suppose if you're that still in the sun, you're not going to sweat too much. Have another chance to look at the sights and sounds from Western Australia.
Well, you would certainly sweat up in this part of the world. This is up in the very north of Western Australia. I mentioned over the last couple of days just how big this state is. Measures pretty well a third of the continent of Australia. Such a diverse state as well, from this part of the very north of the state, the tropics.
I want to know how that Land Rover got there, because there are not too many petrol stations, are there, where they've parked it on the beach and they've got a full tank.
Mining industry in this part of the world is such a key factor in the economy of this state. Petroleum industry also off the coast further north.
It's kind of relaxing, that, isn't it?
There's certainly some stunning coastline up there. Cut out of the original bush here, built 20 years ago, this golf course. September 1989 it opened, and within 4 months of it being opened, they were holding their very first tournament, the Vines Classic, which was won by the American Jeff Maggott. "36 holes here. Final 9 built in the mid-90s. As we have a look at the par 3 13th, playing today with a left to right and perhaps helping a little breeze. Flag today cut on the very left side, about halfway up the green, but the danger here, as we've seen with a few players earlier, is the bunkers behind, because if you get into those traps, and we've seen 2 or 3 players already in the last hour or so in those traps, leaves a very difficult downhill bunker shot.
172 yards. Not a long iron at all. Medium short iron for Lee. Had the flag beautifully all week for 3 rounds. Really does know his swing very well.
John Bickerton finding the middle of the fairway at the par 4 15th, the second to this flag cut just over the ridge. Fujita normally plays on the Japan Golf Tour, but he does have status on the Asian Tour, courtesy of a win in a co-sanctioned event last year in China.